In the world of rock history, few names are as instantly recognizable or as perfectly symbolic as T-Rex. The name evokes both power and style, a fusion of primal energy and sleek elegance that mirrored the band's music and image. Led by the magnetic Marc Bolan, T-Rex became the very definition of glam rock, blending mysticism, sexuality, and swagger into something that shimmered and stomped all at once. But before the world knew them as T-Rex, the band had a very different name, sound, and spirit. The story of how they got that name is one of artistic evolution, from folk mystic to electric messiah. It began in 1967 when a young Marc Bolan, part poet, part visionary, joined forces with percussionist Steve Peregrine Took. The two formed a band called Tyrannosaurus Rex, a name Bolan chose for its striking contrast. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king of the lizards, was enormous, fierce, and prehistoric, a creature of unstoppable force. But their early music was the opposite, soft, acoustic, and ethereal. Their songs were mystical parables filled with fairies, wizards, and dreamlike imagery, wrapped in Bolan's elfin voice and Took's bongo percussion. The name's grandeur was almost ironic, yet it hinted at the larger power Bolan was destined to unleash. Under producer Tony Visconti, Tyrannosaurus Rex built a loyal cult following. Albums like My People Were Fair and Had Sky in Their Hair, but now they're content to wear stars on their brows, and prophets, seers and sages, the Angels of the Ages established Bolan as a unique lyrical talent, cosmic, eccentric, and defiantly original. But as the 1960s faded, Bolan began to feel the constraints of the psychedelic folk scene. He wanted something bolder, louder, more electric, a sound that matched the fire he felt inside. By 1969, that transformation was underway. Bolan picked up an electric guitar, added more groove and grit, and parted ways with Took. Percussionist Mickey Finn stepped in, bringing a steady rhythmic foundation and effortless cool. The change in personnel reflected a deeper metamorphosis. The folk poet was turning into a rock god, and the name Tyrannosaurus Rex no longer fit the creature Bolan had become. So he shortened it. The band became T-Rex, sleek, sharp, and modern. The abbreviation carried the primal essence of the original name, but stripped away the excess, just as Bolan was doing with his sound. T-Rex was both powerful and compact, a rock and roll brand ready to roar into the 1970s. The name was more than convenient. It was symbolic. Bolan was evolving, shedding the skin of the wandering troubadour and emerging as something electric and eternal. The rebranding worked like magic. In 1970, Ride a White Swan hit the airwaves, a shimmering blend of boogie rhythm and mystic imagery that became Bolan's breakthrough. Soon came Electric Warrior and The Slider, with hits like Get It On, Bang a Gong, and Jeepster, solidifying T-Rex as icons of glam rock. Bolan, draped in glitter and curls, was now the ultimate rock star, mystical, sensual, and confident. The name T-Rex perfectly captured that transformation, part beast, part beauty. What made the name so timeless was its duality. It symbolized both evolution and dominance, a creature born from the past but living in the future. Bolan understood that names, like music, carry energy. T-Rex was more than a label. It was a myth reborn, a totem of power refined by art. Marc Bolan once said that music should be physical and mystical at the same time. The name T-Rex embodied exactly that. Ancient instinct meeting modern electricity. Even after Bolan's tragic death in 1977, the legend of T-Rex endures, roaring through generations of rock fans. What began as Tyrannosaurus Rex, a whimsical folk duo with a prehistoric name, evolved into T-Rex, one of rock's most iconic forces. It's a name that, much like Bolan himself, continues to glitter, proof that true evolution in music begins with daring to simplify and shine.